he said that I sent somebody to steal his passport, reciprocate his job, all types of weird stuff. He called me earlier. He's like, yo, when you spar, I'm gonna come to the gym. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna spar at 4 o'clock. I really didn't think he was gonna pull up, but he pulled up. It means everything, his advice and listening to him in the ring. He calling out little shit. I'm trying to make sure I do what he say. So a hell of a blessing to have Bud, Floyd, all these guys backing me, and I appreciate them. I'm just trying to keep pushing and keep getting better and better.
When news breaks that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is working with Shakur Stevenson before the Teofimo Lopez fight, it seems less like a publicity stunt and more like a natural fit.
I'm so used to yes, it feels so normal. Like honestly, that's why me and like Floyd is so like close now, because it's like I'm a genuine person, and he don't like he like genuine people around. So
do you think Floyd, Shakur, and Terrence Crawford share more than friendship? They speak the same language forged in the gym. It's a dialect built on precision, discipline, and a deep understanding of what truly wins fights. When Floyd shows up at Shakur and Bud's training sessions, it's not about grabbing attention or asserting dominance. He's there to hone edges that are already lethal. His role isn't to remake Shakur, but to polish him, to emphasize the subtle details that turn winning rounds into dominating them.
Wait, when you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? The lightweight, who you would put where?
Well, you got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. They stack, around that area. So, I mean, as of right now,
skills that pay the bills.
Well, the two guys, well, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
Floyd focuses on the fundamentals that separate elite fighters from the rest: footwork, efficient punching, and composure under fire. These are details casual observers miss, but fighters recognize instantly. He shares his knowledge with those who truly respect the craft, not out of obligation, but because he knows genuine discipline is rare. For Shakur, Floyd's presence isn't about imitation, it's about mental reinforcement, staying composed when opponents try to impose their will, and maintaining precision when the pressure peaks.
So that sort of last couple from me, what's the sort of best bit of advice he's given? You've obviously got so many people you can call on. You're in a very fortunate position like that, and you've got a strong team. What's the sort of best bit of advice he's given you in this game?
A lot of advice he would give me is like boxing related, and he always want to show me like little tricks and little things that I could take with me. And that's why I fuck with Floyd heavy, because a lot of people be hating on him, but they don't understand he really like a real dude. And it's even crazier? A lot of people be seeing him like when he around, he come with like 15, 16 people. I swear he had to be at the gym with like 2 or 3 people.
When fighters at this level begin sharing knowledge instead of hoarding it, you know something significant is taking shape. And once word gets out that Floyd is refining Shakur's skills in the gym, the focus inevitably turns to someone who's already weathered that particular storm firsthand.
Of course, is an amazing fighter. He's going to have a great career. Crazy skills, good boxing ability, and I will always be proud of him, always. That's why, even like Shakur.
Theory matters, but lived experience carries more weight. Enter Jermaine Ortiz, whose confidence feels earned, not manufactured. He's not analyzing from a distance. He's fought Teofimo Lopez and knows exactly what that pressure feels like. When Ortiz picks Shakur, it's not a slight against Teofimo, it's calculated assessment. He's essentially saying pressuring a fighter like Shakur on paper is one thing, but executing it in the ring is an entirely different test.
I mean, who do you think wins that fight? I mean, do you think Shakur will be able to?
I think Shakur would win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We know Shakur's a great boxer, and we just seen what I did to Teofimo, so I think Shakur will be able to box him out easily.
It's telling when Ortiz says training camp revealed exactly what he expected from Teofimo. That's the most lethal kind of compliment. No surprises means no intimidation. Ortiz is subtly highlighting that Shakur thrives in the uncomfortable spaces where shots miss by inches and frustration compounds. The crucial point, Teofimo will struggle to land clean punches consistently. Not that he can't, just that it won't come easy.
Yeah, hopefully during training camp they learn how to cut off the ring. We'll see. You know, I think, yeah, I don't. It's gonna be hard for Teofimo to get in some punches off on Shakur, but we'll see. We'll see.
That's pure boxing honesty, straightforward, no hype, just acknowledging the challenge ahead. Then Ortiz shifts focus to his own fight that night, which shows real fighter mentality. The bottom line, when someone who's experienced Teofimo's power firsthand still considers Shakur's control the greater obstacle, that speaks volumes. This isn't about who explodes harder, it's about who controls the distance and dictates terms. When a fighter with that experience calls it tough, that's not speculation, it's a red flag.
I guess asking you, being in the ring with Teofimo, was there anything that surprised you with him in terms of not the success you had, but like, was there anything you thought would be harder or anything that he did that you didn't expect?
No, everything, training camp went so well for that fight that everything I seen, I already expected and seen it coming.
After Jermaine Ortiz delivers his measured tactical assessment, the kind you file away mentally, Greg Hackett bursts in like he's crashing a strategy session with pure chaos. The contrast is striking. Ortiz gave us the calculated path, Shakur by decision, superior footwork, mental dominance. But Hackett's energy serves as a reminder that boxing doesn't always follow logic. Sometimes one clean shot derails everything. He's not discussing technique, he's highlighting danger. If Teofimo lands flush at the right moment, the entire fight changes instantly. It's the perfect tension, methodical control versus explosive disruption, forcing you to acknowledge both realities simultaneously.
It's a lot of shit that crossed my mind, but I still like Shakur for the dub. I like Shakur for the dub because he knows how to win. Like, he knows how to win. You know what I'm saying? And he's always prepared to win. So, and I think Shakur respects Teo to the point where he gonna train like he's never trained before. Because this is a great fight for him. This is probably the best fight of his career up to date. Even though he's been in some great fights, this is probably the best opponent.
Shakur is precise and elusive, but Teofimo can detonate in combinations that shatter the best laid plans. When Hackett talks about volume and relentless pressure, throwing 1,000 punches, stripping away confidence through sheer force, he's not just analyzing, he's engineering a different fight than the one experts are calmly forecasting. The math of combat matters, one clean rhythm shift from Teofimo, and the predicted script becomes irrelevant. That's what makes Hackett's directness valuable. He skips the poetic analysis and zeroes in on the raw mechanics that actually decide fights. Here's the truth, this isn't merely style versus style, it's will versus will, just dressed up in technical language.
You gotta work on the opposite. So what I hear you saying is, when you're tracking a guy down and getting out of the habit of loading up one shot.
Yeah.
That means you got to take smaller steps and put smaller shots together. You know what I'm saying? So, in a sense where Teo like to jump, you got to stop that jumping. You know what I mean? Take smaller steps, inch in behind smaller jabs, smaller right hands.
You want surgical precision, that's Shakur. You want controlled chaos that disrupts timing and creates panic. That's the version of Teofimo that explodes off counters and drags you into firefights. The wildest, most honest truth, one I'd argue about all day without betting $1, is how razor thin the line is between he lights him up and he gets systematically outboxed. One slight adjustment, 1 inch of miscalculation, one overcommitted lunge from Lopez, and the entire narrative inverts. So yes, absorb Ortiz's tactical breakdown, but don't dismiss Hackett's recipe for disruption. We're watching a fight where discipline and volatility will trade dominance round by round, making each 3 minutes feel like its own judgment. Ultimately, we're here to see which version of the truth prevails.
Does the best version of Teo have to come out to be Shakur?
Not just the best, it got to be the unheard of version, the version we have never seen. You know what I'm saying? It got to be different. I'm telling you, he can't approach Teo like he approached everybody else. He can't approach Shakur like he approached everybody else, and he can't approach Shakur like, you know, like, all right, I did whatever I had to do in camp. He gonna fall to me. He gonna fall to my shit. It don't work like that with Shakur. Shakur, you gotta go in there and force your hand.
The passage describes a calm, incisive analysis that cuts through hype to focus on pressure and reality. It argues that Teofimo Lopez is most dangerous early, while his effectiveness later in fights is uncertain. This conclusion isn't opinion or hate, but based on film study. The fight is framed as a ticking clock rather than a gradual battle. Teofimo doesn't need time or hope. He needs early opportunities. Those windows appear quickly and disappear just as fast. The analysis treats Teofimo's explosiveness as a tactical weapon, not a highlight reel. The real question is whether he can force Shakur to respect him early. If Shakur establishes his rhythm, the fight shifts into a controlled system. Teofimo's flaw isn't lack of skill, but a very thin margin for error. Early pressure is essential for his success. Miss that window, and the fight completely tilts in Shakur's favor.
I'm looking at him like if I'm Teofimo, the reason I took that fight is because I say if I can get in the same positions, or I can get into those spots where I can hit Shakur clean, can Teofimo hurt Shakur with one shot? Can you hurt him clean? He hasn't been a killer, as much of a killer at 140, and after Kambosos, he hasn't been the same in my opinion, but he's still explosive and still dangerous in the first 7 rounds, you know what I'm saying, first 8 rounds. So I think it's a good fight. I like the fight actually because of that. Teofimo got the explosive punching power on his side and good athleticism, and Shakur has, you know, superior boxing IQ, good range, good distance. So it's great. It's good boxer versus good athlete at this.
The passage highlights that the pressure in the fight isn't evenly shared. Shakur Stevenson isn't fighting to survive, but to satisfy heavy expectations where merely winning may not be enough. His challenge is to dominate without inviting chaos, despite criticism that comes with control. This creates a tense dynamic that complicates predictions. Teofimo must force early chaos, while Shakur must prove he's unmoved by it. The analysis frames the fight as a clash of intentions rather than loyalty. One fighter seeks chaos, the other seeks to show chaos can be neutralized. It divides the bout by time, with early rounds favoring danger and later rounds favoring control. The core question is whether early threat can break through before structure takes over. The outcome isn't a simple answer, but a collision between those forces.
And Shakur, like a lot of fighters, he needs this name in order to silence a lot of the naysayers, because people talk a lot of shit about Shakur, especially after the De La Santos fight. I don't think, you know, the Zabeda fight took it off of him, even though they tried to make it seem like, hey, you know, it should be off him at this point. I don't think that fight was the one. I think Teofimo is a name that will shed everybody up if Shakur can go dominant.
Stacking all the perspectives together reveals a fight defined by opposing truths rather than opinions. Each analyst highlights a different pressure point, but all point to time as the real judge. Teofimo Lopez survives in explosive moments, while Shakur Stevenson thrives over sustained minutes. Chaos fuels one, calm control empowers the other. Because each round shifts the balance, the fight resists a clean prediction. Every moment asks which truth can endure longer. The question at the heart of the fight is whether Teofimo can impose urgency before structure takes control, or whether Shakur can quietly erode belief without ever escalating. There's no manufactured hype, only a clash of philosophies. Disruption meets control, ignition meets patience. The line between dominance and collapse is razor thin, decided by instinct and timing. That uncertainty is the real draw, watching which approach survives once the bell keeps answering back.
And make it a rumble early, he got a chance at this Shakur for sure. You know what I mean? But his is gonna come from blunt force trauma, not attrition. I think Shakur is obviously the dominant of the two in regards to class. He's in a different class, but a fight is a fight. So if Teofimo can punch you in the mouth and change that game plan, then he got a shot. But he got to do it.
Now you drop your thoughts in the comments. Really debate it, because this one deserves conversation. And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.